Hello everyone. So I have with me today CA Jayant Vadara AIR 10 from the Jan 26 exams and our FR and AFM student. So congratulations Jayant, very well done and run us through what an AIR 10 is feeling right now.
Thank you so much, sir. Still not able to process that I'm hearing you out of the lecture in a video call. The feeling is quite unreal. It's very different. I'm still not able to process like yesterday I got my results and today how this 24-hour went. I have zero idea. The feeling is quite great. I'll just tell all the students it's very worth to stay late at nights for this feeling. It's very worth. It's very different feeling. I just cannot uh, express it in words, but yeah, feeling very great today.
Yeah. So I'm sure people will have to work and they will work to kind of experience the feeling. Tell me, Jayant, I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of your scored around 85 odd in AFM, close to 75 odd in FR, run us through your grind. How did you prepare? First of all, how did you manage watching and completing the lectures? Then, how did you manage your revision?
So I'll start with FR. So it's basically the first thing that all of us take in our preparation journey, and we eventually tend to forget it like when we pick up our second subject. So I also started like 2.5 years back from my attempt. The first in 2 months into my articleship, I took the FR lectures from you, regular one,
Hmm.
around 300 400 hours. I took my sweet 6 months to complete them, and but I made sure that I write all the notes in a very good manner that the second time I am viewing anything, I'm not in a position to rewatch some
Hmm.
sort of lectures that miss the that completes the piece. So my notes were I think were comprehensive. So, but it is actually a problem. After 6 months, you tend to pick up a new subject and you tend to forget one. So I also had the same. After that, I took AFM from you, and by the time I almost, except some few asset indices, I almost forgot all the SBPs consolidation completely. So then, like but I realized it would be a very big problem for me to revise FR because I knew my study leave would be a very short tenure. So I thought that I should utilize my soda time last month of articleship to actually work upon at least two subjects which are very manageable from a student's point of view. So I took FR first of all. So my approach to FR was very direct. In the very first revision only, I marked all the questions which are comprehensive, difficult to solve, and which I will most probably make mistakes the very next time I'm solving. Three types of questions I will ask, irrespective of the number of questions. It may also happen like in small indices like goodwill, let's say agriculture. It's a very small index, but
Hmm.
उसमें भी I have marked 12 questions because I
Hmm.
made a lot of mistakes there. And in terms
Hmm.
of consolidation, I was very good at. So उसमें I only marked 3 4 questions.
Okay.
So irrespective of the weighted of topic, I just realized where I
Hmm.
am weak at. And in second revision onwards, I just eliminated all those unmarked questions and focused
Hmm.
on those I have marked.
Hmm.
So, and the very first way to revise is actually the YouTube revision videos. That's Bible to us during revision. We just listen closely each topic a subpart in the revision lecture. Go through your notes and believe sir has taught us very good enough to get to remember all those things back. So it's I know it's a very common feeling to have. Yeah, it's a very difficult thing. I will not remember it or it's very difficult to understand. I should rewatch the lectures, but I think that is not much needed. You will tend to remember all those things right away. So yeah, revision lectures, then suddenly solving again marked में से I solved almost 50% questions on paper. But when I say on paper, no complete format, just my rough notebook
Scribbling,
and my
maybe.
scribbling. Yeah. So even sometimes even on calculator.
Hmm.
So I managed to get my first revision of FR done with articleship in around 1.5 month. But that was like 3 hours a day, only FR, only FR. Uh, yeah, I managed first revision and second revision I took for FR like the day my study leave started.
Hmm.
So उसमें again I I made a chunks of in days a section. Like all the asset links are one chunk that I have to complete in 2 days. All others like liability ones is another chunk. All
Hmm.
the balance sheet ones another chunk.
Hmm.
and one chunk for FI. So I have managed to create six chunks.
Hmm.
And my target was I should complete one chunk in 2 days in a uh,
Hmm.
complete comprehensive manner.
Okay.
And by the time I was doing my second revision, so what I did was for all the tricky questions, some uh, difficult ones here which I have made mistakes at, I made sure to write the mistakes in my notes, write the tricky point in my notes, so that the third time I am revising things, I do not have to look again at the question pura.
Hmm.
I just refer to the point in my notes highlighted where I have made mistake, where is the tricky point. So I just remember कि मुझे एक दिन पहले अगर ऐसा हो कि मुझे अगर नहीं देखने का क्वेश्चन टाइम हो, तो
Hmm.
आई एम नॉट इन अ डू और डाई सिचुएशन.
Correct. Correct.
For
Correct.
for example, the reverse acquisition A and B limited that a question we
Hmm.
had. So उसमें I made my formula कि there is a conversion ratio. You do 1/1 upon conversion ratio into
Conversion. Yeah.
B का share में B. I do not have to look the entire question because it will take sweet
Correct.
1 hour of
Correct.
me to revise.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
took that formula written into my notebook कि हाँ, it should I should get this covered. So this
Correct.
was my trick to most of the if indices except one or two say as I said consolidation.
Hmm.
So from this I managed to from this thing I can manage to wrap up my FR notes in like 1.5 days because and the book just a notebook is was my again Bible. So my notes were not a separate notebook but in your notes the blank spaces I have incorporated mine.
Hmm.
So it's a like complete comprehensive book that I have made. So usko I used to refer. It is now pura torn up. I
Okay.
not very. I just in the IBS paper I just used scissor to tape to just wind it up and take it to the exam hall. So
Okay.
yeah. So for me, the last moment the FR paper was a theory paper for me. I saw like only 35 questions a day before exam, 2 days before exam,
Hmm.
only revising concept. And yeah, that helped me actually in the actual paper that came, a very
Hmm.
theoretical paper. So I was capable of writing a good theory. Not a very good score, but yeah, can seem as a good way to go forward for FR.
All right, you have scored quite well, so don't worry. And how about AFM? You clocked 85 over there, so
So AFM again, like not a very big, not a very vast in terms of lectures as compared to FR, but again, it's a very common thing to like in AFM we think that yeah we know stuff and we take it for granted that it is manageable, but sometimes it may not. Say I you tend to do very silly mistakes like exit load entry load भी ऐड करना मैं भूल जाता था कि हाँ सब in my mind कि मुझे आता है वो नहीं होता है. So in AFM I should say you if you have chance you can write and actually solve uh, some set of questions because it's a pattern that keeps on coming in every question in every chapter there is a set of and again a chunk of questions from each section that eventually come to exam not applicable for our attempt obviously some different thing came up but in AFM also again coming at last it was a theory paper for me the book there's a notes book the shield I made a Bible writing all the tricky points ki, because AFM mein there are only
points everywhere.
points. Every question has a different point.
Hmm.
So I just attached more notes, more papers to your book कि to understand कि यार इस question में ऐसा होगा, इस question में ऐसा होगा. And yeah कि एक दिन पहले if I don't get a chance, which I didn't, to see all of the AFM questions because the problem is you cannot see.
Very,
तो उस
very vast.
तो उसमें AFM में I went to be comprehensive and study all the notes. And in terms of theory, again, it was your book with 10 chapters, and again, my scribbling there. So 4 hours before the exam, just all I just took what was in the book for 10 chapters,
Hmm.
and yeah, it helped me. I think but I was very weak in theory, so I think my marks would have been cut in the theory section as only.
No, and okay, so tell me this. I mean, you, I believe, did your uh, articleship in one of the big four and then you moved into BCG for industrial training.
Yeah.
How do you manage to study with so much of work pressure as well during articleship?
So okay, I'll just cut into two parts. When I was doing my articles with PwC, I used to make sure that at least I watch one lecture in the morning.
Hmm.
No, if not one, then at least like an half an hour remaining kind of लेक्चर, ताकि इवनिंग में पूरा हो जाए. तो आई मेड श्योर एटलीस्ट वन आई शुड वॉच इन द मॉर्निंग itself. And then everyone has a timing that you can reach the office by 10, so you can wake up at 6, 6:30 and complete a lecture in 2x.
You used to
Everyone's.
watch 2x?
Yeah, yeah, I used
So
to
this
watch.
interview is very slow for you.
Yeah, yeah, still able to comprehend.
Okay.
So I used to complete my lecture when 9:30 latest. In FR, you have to write also, so I am taking a margin of 1 hour there. So yeah, I made sure that one lecture I watch in each day, and in the evening only a half an hour slot to just sink in what actually has happened in that lecture, and any homework that you have given to हाँ उसको भी, not in a formal way, but I used to write कि हाँ this is
Mm-hmm.
done from my end. And
Okay.
in a weekday, just a weekend, sometimes two lectures. Sunday was off for me completely. Sunday ko I used to rest. In the Saturday, I used to watch two and a half lectures and just a week recap on Sunday कि हाँ हुआ क्या है.
Okay.
So from this, I was able to complete my lectures 1 year before exam, and
Okay.
that helped me to utilize my 6 months of articleship, not industrial training, to actually see two subjects, FR and AFM. कि हाँ before going to industrial I should have a hand on this, कि at least मेरे को अगर नहीं टाइम मिला more than two revisions का इसमें, तो इसमें I have a grip. Because DT and IDT usually come closer to the exam, and there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of amendments, so you have to be sharp in those last month in that subjects. And then when I was switched to BCG, like it was very a sudden change for me. The work hours were very, so morning hours, evening hours, they it was all packed up with work. So, but there was a golden opportunity for me, commute time.
Mm-hmm.
So I utilized the commute time, put on headphones, just uh, put any playlist I used to watch, any subject. Most probably I used to watch audit or FR, because these
Mm-hmm.
are thoda theoretical subject. So the theory in is quite manageable, except from DT and IDT, where you have to think and process like what is happening. In FR, acha, this is the, and audit also,
Mm-hmm.
if the things keep coming, you memorize them.
Okay.
So I used to watch those playlists in the cab, when with the chart book or let's say notebook in my hand, and flipping through it. And weekends I got some time, so weekends I used to like study for 5, 6 hours. So but industrial training time was quite difficult. But I would should say कि the articleship time is quite manageable. You can make sure to watch one lecture a day and can have an half an hour to recap all those things that you have done.
Okay. So your method has been quite systematic. I think consistency stands out quite well in terms of how you have constantly utilized your 2.5 years, even when you forgot stuff, you kind of stuck to it, and I think that really helped.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. Yeah.
Okay, and in terms of your study leave, again, a lot of students face this problem that they kind of try to question themselves and they kind of say that this is a very difficult thing, I can't do this, I will defer my attempt. So, how do you fight those demons that come to
I
everyone?
was one of yeah, I was one of the victim of those thoughts, no, to be honest.
Mm,
So, but but when you complete the classes, then you have a hand on two subjects. Thoda you get a confidence to start your study prep.
mm,
But again, when I completed my first revision of all those subjects, again I used to give mocks after every revision. So, but my score in first mock was not very good.
mm,
So again, the questions came like, did I just sabotage my attempt because of industrial training? Did I
mm.
just, settle for less study leaves, or will I be able to uh, crack this? Anything, if anything extra comes up in exam, what will I do? Because ये तो देखे हुए क्वेश्चन से इसमें इतना प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, तो if something new comes up in exam, how will I manage the anxiety? And so, but
Yeah, sorry, but if I take you, if I just, sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
but this is one thing that I would want you to kind of help everyone.
yeah,
This fear of a new question, and you have lived through this exam where there have been a lot of new questions. How does a student actually sitting in those 3 hours navigate a new question? Because there's no way you can cover everything,
correct.
because anything can come, right, in this chat GPT era.
That is true. First, for me, like two, three solutions worked. First, I give three sweet mocks.
Hmm.
And in each mock, I am not agreeing. There were a lot of questions that I've seen, like 80-85%, but 15% that I've not seen, उसमें I was a थोड़ा mentally prepared कि how I have to face it. Because फर्स्ट थिंग वुड बी जो आता है वो कर लो. सेकेंड थिंग,
Hmm.
यू हैव टाइम, you just diagnose through the questions and you just start writing what is in the question. It will
Hmm.
eventually lead you to somewhere, not a 100%
Hmm.
complete thing, but on
Right,
a
right.
semi mid field, ताकि उसमें से ये फाइव में से टू भी मिल जाए तो I think that is enough instead of zero. And in terms of AFM like paper that we had a lot of new questions, new stuff coming in. So what I used to do, I did on the exam also. I the paper was not very lengthy, so I used to write. I wrote two alternate solutions for each possible assumption that was in the question. So, if, for
Hmm.
example, it was some mutual fund question, some expenses was there. I was doubtful of one expense; it should be added or not. I made two separate tables, included, not included. You just check what do you want to check. Any like some, I think some P0, P1 was not given. I made two rates, this and this. Check you want to check, and it gives you a
Okay.
sweet confidence at your end also and their end also ki हाँ. And some things will come out of the course that I think that will you have to leave. No, you cannot
No,
prepare
but that
for.
is fine. You should not be
हाँ.
scared for that. It is like costing में बोलता है ना normal loss है. It will be
No,
5-10% normal loss is fine, but उसके वजह से आपका 95 to 90 मार्क्स का पेपर तो नहीं बिगड़ना चाहिए, right?
correct, correct. हाँ, 80% of the paper comes what you have seen
Most
or
of the times,
what
yes.
you have capable of doing. Not seen
Hmm.
also, but you can do.
Hmm.
20% comes, yeah, that is a normal loss. No
Hmm.
one can anticipate for that.
Correct, correct, correct. Okay. And tell me, I mean, were you kind of affected by social media, etc.? Like a lot of people, they take a break on the phone and then study becomes a break and then the entire day goes on the phone. So, were you affected by that or what? How were you?
Uh, was sort of affected in the start. Like my watch time was 5 hours, but
5 hours, huh?
you cannot split what was the revision lectures in that social
Okay.
media. I did not make an analysis of what was the split of the 5 hours,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was 5 hours throughout the study prep. But eventually in the end, I 2 months back the attempt, I uninstalled quite a few apps, which I
Hmm.
was saying to myself I will not, but okay, I did.
Okay.
But yeah, it is thoda distraction, not denying, but uh, it is not like it is taking your time, but it is stopping you to think beyond a certain point. So I'm not
Hmm.
saying that you don't take a break, you just take a break and do other stuff in that time. Maybe you can go for a walk, meet your friends in that time, but using phone also creates stress in your eyes, some headache or something
It
like
is
that.
not relaxing.
It's not less. It's like putting more pressure on your brain, which is also already more pressurized.
Hmm.
So you can, split that thing into some other activity. Take a break, not
Hmm.
asking you to don't take a break. But it is important to manage your digital screen time at least 2 months back. Your attempt to be in a complete good manner.
Correct, correct, correct. And uh, tell me if you have to give me a few qualities or even a single quality which you thought helped you to kind of achieve what you have achieved, other than the standard hard work and everything. If there's one trait which you would like to leave the students with, what would be that trait?
Great, I would say. Biggest trait is I think you have to be honest with yourself.
Hmm.
If I keep on saying that I'm sitting for 10 hours, 12 hours, but I know inside that I am not able to give the output of 4 hours also. So, and you are just saying कि मैं तो बैठ रहा हूँ 10 घंटा मुझसे मॉक में नंबर नहीं हो रहे, there is some problem with the subject or there is a problem with the teacher.
Hmm.
So blaming him it will get you validation, but it will not get you results.
Very
So
nice. Yeah.
so I think you should be honest with yourself. Are you doing enough? And sometimes can happen that you are not doing enough and the results are not coming. That is fine. But
Hmm.
I don't think that's 90% of the things. If you
Hmm.
are honest with yourself, just deeply, rigorously pursuing what you have chosen, with like dedication and consistency, it is not much time taking. I think
Hmm.
the results will eventually come.
Hmm.
Some points will come that you will feel very low. I also felt, but yeah, your family is there, your friends are there to keep you, support you. But again, they're supporting you because they believe in yourself, and for that you have to be honest to yourself.
Correct,
आप
correct.
ऐसा मतलब बोल के you are using phone, then use phone, but हाँ, uh, if you are saying the 10
Take
hours I'm
ownership.
studying,
It's like taking
accountability and
ownership
ownership
of
at
your
your part.
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's quite good. So I guess that is very, very helpful, Jayant. And thanks a lot for taking out your time and guiding everyone. And you have been an inspiration for a lot of students. So keep shining, keep doing the good work, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Really helpful, sir.